Hey, this is Punt, and I have a review of the Ewin Flash XL gaming racing chair. I'd like to thank Ewin for sending me this chair. Now, this is a sponsored video. They did send me this chair for free. They did not have any say-so in this review. I'm giving you my unbiased opinion on the chair itself, and so you can rest assured that what I say about this chair, you can take to the bank. Now, I want to talk about this chair because I think that it will fit the needs of a lot of people. Now, this chair is a big and tall chair. It's rated between 5'7" to 7 foot tall people and rated for a weight up to 550 pounds. This is the highest rated weighted chair I have heard of at 550 pounds for a racing chair. Usually you see 250, 300 pounds, maybe 375. So 550 pounds. So this is going to fit big people like me. So if you're looking for a chair like that, I guarantee you want to stay tuned and watch this video. I think you'll be interested in hearing what I think about this chair. So let's go ahead and get into the video. When Ewin first came to me about this chair, they asked me if I wanted to do a review. They gave me the option to get this black chair. So I was like, okay, I'll take the black chair. But then I saw this and I really liked the look of it. So wow, it's different. It's a different color, different look. And I think it would go actually really well up here in the studio with the colors we got, because we got kind of a 50s color scheme with some of the accents in the room. And this yellow would actually go well, or gold would go well with that color scheme. What I did not think about was that even though the line is the same for these chairs, that the chair design itself is actually different. So the black one, the black Flash XL, actually has a flatter seat design compared to this one, which has all these almost straight up and down bolsters. So when I sat in this chair for the first time and actually saw these bolsters after I'd already gotten the chair ordered and they had shipped the chair, and I went back and looked at it and I saw the picture and I looked and I saw these bolsters, I was like, oh no. And so I was automatically concerned about that, and my concerns were accurate, because when we got the chair and put it together, the first time I sat in it, the bolsters pressed right into my thighs, and I immediately knew that I could not sit in this chair for any length of time. So I've tried my best to sit in it as much as I can, but I just don't think the chair fits me well at all because of the bolsters. Now, that's not to go against the chair itself. That's more or less of me not paying attention and assuming that all the chairs, because they're all Flash XL chairs, that they're all designed the same, and they're definitely not. So if you're looking at these chairs online, pay attention to the pictures. Don't assume that because they're in the same line that the seats are and the backs and everything are going to be designed exactly the same, because that's not the case at all. With that being said, I cannot hold the company necessarily accountable for that. I mean, that's my own fault. My only wish is that they make it a little bit more apparent on the website. So keep that in mind when ordering it. But yeah, so what I'll do now is because I can't give this chair a fair chance, what I've done is I've invited my son to talk about this chair, and we'll talk about, all the different areas that you should concern yourself about when you're looking at buying one of these chairs, and we'll give it a grade on each of those different areas. So let's go ahead and get into that now. Okay, so we're going to talk about the basic features of the chair and what we like about the chair and what we don't like about the chair. And my son Charlie, I have him up here because he's actually used the chair a lot more than me. Now, let me go ahead and explain why that is the case. When I got this chair, I did not realize how the bolsters were designed on this chair. And with that being said, it does not fit me well at all. And unfortunately, it's going to hurt the comfortability for my grade. But for Charlie, it fits him rather well. And he's used this chair extensively, so I figured I would get his take on it too, because it would be actually more of a fair take on the chair than my own. So, Charlie, we're going to talk about, first of all, the design of the chair.
The design.
Okay, if you're going to rate this on a scale of 10, where would you rate the design of the chair and why?
I'm not really into the whole gold aesthetic, but they do have other color options out there. But I'd give this maybe maybe a 7. I like the way it's feel, the way it's textured. It seems pretty sturdy in that sense. It feels like it'll hold up. The sparkles, like, I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of has like a sparkle tint to it, which is really nice. It's flashy, it's different than most things out there. The padding and everything on it is really comfortable. I mean, it's adjustable. You can adjust it to whatever you need to. And overall, yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I think the design is a 7 out of 10 also. I love the upholstery. I think the upholstery is actually really nice. It's not your standard race chair, gaming chair upholstery. It's actually more durable. It feels a lot different than anything that you will ever feel. Again, like the sparkle, I think it's interesting looking. I personally like that look. I thought it would go well up here in the studio, which I think it still does. I think it looks great with the colors that we've got going on up here. But overall, I think that design is quite good. It is built very well. There is some issues though that I came across in building, and this is something that you will have to take note if you do get this chair or any chair similar to this, in that when you put the seat and the back together, they do not fit together very well. You have to force it quite a bit. That concerns me a bit because one of the things that you can easily do when putting this together is cross thread the hex heads that come with the chair when you're putting the back and the seat together. And that is something that you shouldn't have to be worried about. They should go together pretty seamlessly. Unfortunately, it does not. And I fear that over time, because it doesn't fit that well together, you'll notice that it doesn't look quite lined up because of how that is. I kind of worry that over time that's going to cause some wear and tear that otherwise they could have avoided with the design. But other than that, I mean, the chair is still quite durable. I've laid fully horizontal in it with my full weight on it, and it seemed to it held my weight, and I didn't feel like I was unstable at all. So the chair is built quite well. I just think that as far as design goes, they could have fit the pieces together a little better than they did. And I've seen other reviews where people have said the same thing, and I struggled to get them together. And I tried to do it live one day, and I ended up cutting the camera off because I kept fighting the two pieces to try to get them to line up properly. And I did not want to cross thread those hex heads. So yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10 in design. The 4D armrest is a really nice feature. The threading is actually really well done. It's quality, and it actually adds to the aesthetic of the chair too, which I really like a lot. But yeah, I mean, other than the bolsters is really the only thing that I kind of really don't like about the chair, because for me personally, I need a flatter seat, and these bolsters really, they're really standing up, almost vertically, as opposed to a lot of the other racing chairs, which are not quite so drastic like that. But for Charlie, it fits him quite well. Unfortunately for me, I just can't sit in that chair because of that. The full horizontal also is really nice. Again, you can lay this chair fully horizontal, and you could lay in the chair quite comfortably. Now, I personally don't see a use of that, but, because I don't plan on sleeping in the chair, but I guess for some people that would be the case. All right, next thing we'll talk about the comfort. Again, I kind of alluded to what I will scale my comfort grade on, and I believe that I will call the comfort probably a 5 out of 10. The max I could probably sit in the chair is about 2 to 3 hours. Now, Charlie, what is your grade for comfort in this chair?
I'd say it would probably be between about maybe like between an 8 and a 9, almost maybe 8.5 if you want to call it that.
Okay.
I mean, this compared to the one that I have, which is a different brand, I don't know, there's an obvious difference between the two, and in a good way. Like, it's very cushiony. It's very, like, the texturing on it, it's soft. So, like, say you're not wearing long sleeves like I am, like you're wearing short sleeve, it feels good on your skin. If you're here for an extensive amount of time, you might sweat over time. Your skin doesn't stick to the chair. The cushions are held up really nice. I mean, your butt doesn't hurt afterwards. So after a while of sitting in the one that I have now, I can tell that the cushion is starting to wear on it. Whereas this one, it's like it's brand new every time you sit in it.
So one of the things that they did with this chair is they did put an upgraded padding in here. It's a lot more dense, a lot more durable. So that will go into the factor of, over time, how will the durability of the padding go in this chair. I expect that it'll probably last you a very long time, and it will hold up quite well, even to heavier weights, such as myself. Now, Charlie is probably about 100 to 150 pounds less than me, and he's about 2, maybe 3 inches shorter than I am. So that gives you an idea of, the size that you would need in this chair for it to fit properly. I will say that the other chairs in this lineup, like the black one, for instance, which Ewin originally was going to send me, has a different seat design. It's a lot more flatter. So for bigger people like myself, you should be able to fit into the black one very easily compared to this one. All right, so we talked about design, we talked about comfort, now we'll talk about durability. All right, so durability. How do you think that this is going to hold up over time?
No, I think it'll do just fine. I mean, obviously, like most stuff, there's like plastic parts on it, but overall, it's solid metal. Everything seems to, if it has plastic on it underneath, there's a piece of metal to give it some more and extra support. There's no creaks, there's no squeaks, like you move around in it, there's no rattly bits, whatever. So it seems like once you do, end up putting it together, it will hold.
How surprised were you when you picked the chair up for the first time?
Oh, it's pretty dense. It's
very heavy.
Yeah, it's
very
hefty.
Heavy. Yeah, it's a very heavy chair. It's the heavy. Matter of fact, it's the heaviest chair we have in the house. It's even heavier, I would say, than our chairs in our living room. Now, this chair has an aluminum base. It's got a metal base. The hydraulic arm on it is very strong. It's a lot more beefy than the one that's on this chair I have right here, which is also a big and tall chair. It just has a lot of weight to it. It's the frame is very strong. It is definitely built for the maximum weight of 550 pounds, I would say. So out of 10, how would you rate the durability?
I'd probably give it about a 9.
Okay. I would say 8 or 9. I would go 9. The only issue that I have, again, and I talked about it earlier, is where the seat and the back don't quite line up exactly right. It's just a hair off. It's nothing crazy, but it's just a hair off, and I feel that maybe over time there's just going to be a little wear and tear in that little area where the seat and the back, sit together and could rub together. Yeah, but I like the durability of it. I think it's really nice, and unlike normal racing chairs, again, like the one Charlie has downstairs, the upholstery is a lot more heavy. It's thicker. It just has a lot more weight to it, and that will hold up over time. You're not going to see these where you see people with these racing chairs where the upholstery's torn in places where it's worn, where people have been sitting in it. I think that, this one will hold up a lot better. It's just a lot better quality upholstery, and I really like it a lot. All right, so the last thing we'll talk about the usability of the chair. So Charlie, scale out of 10, how would you rate the usability and why?
I'd probably give it about an 8. There's a lot of neat features on here. One that I can just kind of easily show is that the armrests, and they move in all different kinds of ways. You can bring them forward if you have like longer arms. You can bring them back. You can raise them. If I can press it. Right. Oh, there's a thank you button on the back.
Yeah.
Where was it? Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can raise them up and down on both sides.
Probably about 6 to 7 inches of travel up and down.
Yeah. It's
so it's got a lot.
It's really nice. Obviously, you have your handles back here, where you can, adjust how far back you want the seat, how high up you want it. Over here, you have like the angle in which you like want to rock and whatnot. If you just don't want it to rock or whatever, you can have that too. Other than that, the only thing I'll really have to like complain about for it, like functionality wise, is just the wheels. They don't exactly work the best on carpet. It works better on like flat surfaces. Saying you have like one of the little pieces of plastic that you put on the carpet, it'll probably roll a whole lot better on it than that. But other than that, it'd probably stay about an 8.
I would say 8 out of 10. Like Charlie said, there's a lot of nice little features in the chair, a lot of adjustments that you can make to get the chair to fit you the way that you want it to fit. A couple things he didn't talk about, I'll talk about. I didn't necessarily like the default position of the pillow. So I've moved it up actually to where it's at right here. It actually works better for me there. While it's down here, lower where they show it in the pictures. I don't know if that's, how it should be, but I just personally find it better to have the pillow up higher and the back support also to be a little bit higher than what they show in the pictures. But other than that, yeah, I mean, usability, I mean, it's there, it's got everything, but the casters are not good because they really struggle to roll in carpet. Even if you're not sitting in the chair and you want to move it around on carpet, you will find that there's a lot of resistance that you will see when doing so. And I don't necessarily say that has anything to do with the weight of the chair itself, but more or less just the rolling ability of the casters themselves. So if you have carpeted space and you think you're going to be rolling this around, even if you have a mat that you lay down on top of the carpet, you will find that it's quite difficult to move around with the casters. That's really the only true negative of the chair in terms of the design that I really have. And, Charlie and I had the same experience. When we first sat in the chair to roll it around, we both thought that the casters were locked, which is not the case. It's just they're that difficult to roll around. So, and it's a night and day difference between the casters on the chair I currently have here compared to that. These, while they're not the best at rolling around on carpet either, they roll a whole lot easier than that. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I think the usability of the chair is actually there. I mean, it goes fully horizontal. You can lock it in place. You can lock it in different rock positions if you so choose, or you can leave it unlocked and you can rock back and forth in the chair. Hydraulic arm actually raises the chair up quite a bit. The fact that you have a nice heavy base, this aluminum base, it's going to give you that extra stability when you're leaning back in the chair in different positions. There's a lot to say about the usability and the durability of this chair. So if you're looking for a really strong chair, but you're looking for this racing style chair, I would definitely give this a look if you feel that you could fit between the bolsters. Now, if you don't think that you could fit between the bolsters and you're going to have that kind of issue, then look at one of the other colors in this same model. Like the black chair, for instance, has almost a flat seat like the chair that I'm currently sitting in, so you shouldn't have any issues there. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Charlie, thank you for giving the time and talking about the chair. I really wanted to give the chair a fair chance because I just did not get the opportunity to be able to use it like I would want to because of the bolsters in the chair itself. So again, Charlie, I appreciate it. And what I will do is, because the one things I always question is durability. I'll like to go in a year from now and revisit this chair and see how the chair is holding up, because that's really going to be the true test, is to see how this chair is held up over time. Because Charlie, he games a lot. He uses this chair for at least 2, 3, 4 hours a day, even more during the weekends. And so he'll get a lot of time in this chair, and we'll see how well it holds up. All right, everybody, I appreciate everybody taking the time and watching the video. If you're here at the end, again, I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, and hit the bell for notifications. You'll know when I have a video that goes live. I want to thank Ewin again for sending me the chair for review. I'm sure Charlie will love it to death. And again, I will try my best to do a video here in a year, kind of do a durability update on it. But also, I do have affiliate links down below. You can get a discount on this chair. And you're talking, these chairs are, $500, $450 to $500. 10% discount is going to give you a pretty significant savings. So if you're in the market for one of these chairs and you want to look at them, make sure you look at the different styles. Pay attention to how they're shaped, especially around the seat area. The black one, for instance, I think will do a lot of people really good. But just pay attention to that when you're buying it. But other than that, I think the chairs are really good. And again, I think Charlie will really enjoy this chair a lot. So everybody have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you later.